Syrian cruise strike. 2018. Did Trump flip on us? Is he compromised? Do you buy the propaganda? Are you watching the shills scatter? On today's show, we discuss it all. How is the Syrian conflict tying in to the spiritual, interdimensional war between good and evil? Listen here to find out.
Damn it, man. What the Is there nobody in this world? See, now I'm right now. Syria fought Al-Qaeda, they fought ISIS, they fought it all. And now you got Mattis and these people all over us. And the goddamn liberal fascists censoring us everywhere the last 2 days. We did an emergency 6-hour broadcast trying to stop this into World War III. And you liberal pieces of yeah, fucking assholes. You support this you goddamn degenerate.
Welcome to the happenings. Welcome to the show. This is your host, Bellagio Sampler. And I just want to say thank you. We are up to 298 subscribers. As I'm recording this, we are slowly growing. YouTube is putting limiters on us. I will have explosive growth in a 24-hour period, get up to 1,000 views. Then they drop the hammer on me. And it stops, it locks up for weeks. So, help spread these videos, please. I just do this to spread the message of truth and to equip you, spirit warriors, with ammunition and artillery to fight back. Thank you again. It is the weekend of April 14th. I am reporting to you live from Antarctica, plus Ultra Base Charlie. And on today's show, we are going to discuss the last week and a half of happenings, starting with Trump declaring it's happening during his weekly address on whitehouse.gov.
I will not rest until we have secured our borders and restored the rule of law. We will win, and we will win soon. It's happening.
Leading into him saying he's going to back out of Syria, as Russia was also backing out of Syria because they won the civil war. ISIS defeated, Al-Qaeda defeated, al-Nusra gone, Christians protected by Assad, and then a chemical attack. After the war was won, a shady chemical attack with evidence that is damning to the deep state. Russia will bring this evidence up to an international court at the UN, and the different factions are at inner war with each other. You see, Trump is the symbol of the opposition against the establishment. He's not perfect, he's not our savior. But if you look at the actions of this missile strike, again, like last year, they forewarned the Russians. No Russian targets were attacked. And it seems like our goal was not to start a war, but just a Hollywood production show of force. For the neocons, for the deep state. Trump bombed Syria. They love when bombs go off. And the number is up to 100, maybe over 100 Tomahawks were launched. It's estimated that several airports, several warehouses, and research facilities were damaged, but the extent of this damage is still unknown. No chemical or biological weapons were destroyed, as far as we know, and I'm sure they would brag about it, if we did. There were very, very few human casualties. These targets were precise, and the weapons that were used were highly advanced, updated versions of our smart bombs, with new BIOSes, new algorithms. Russian military bases, as I've said, were not hit or targeted. Russian anti-missile defense systems, the S-400 and S-300s, were not used. All down projectiles were down by outdated S-200 and S-125 systems that were used by the Syrian government, if any were downed at all. Our government is saying that no missiles were shot down. Syria and Russia are saying that over 70% of the missiles were shot down. This is propaganda war. I'm sure a couple were shot down, but I'm sure it wasn't as high as their number they're saying, and I'm sure it wasn't as low as the number we're saying. But I have good sources that say that a low 90% of our targets were hit by our missiles that we sent. Now, just like Trump is an inner faction within the establishment-controlled grid of America, and Trump and the people that work with Trump, the good guys behind the scenes, the white hats, they are loosening the grip of the enemy. But the enemy still owns the media, still owns Hollywood. That's why no matter what you hear about this Syrian strike, it's never going to look good for Trump. They were happy that he launched the missiles. Putin is also part of an inner faction in Russia, and he's surrounded by still communist holdouts, Bolshevik holdouts, and people that are anti-Putin. These same people work in our media, and this is why the whole meme of Russia is out there. And it never existed before. Russia, after the Cold War, was not really our enemy, on paper and even behind the scenes. These anti-Russian shills are at root pro-China and are Chinese, pro-Israel and are Israeli, pro-New World Order, pro-globalism. If you look at the bigger picture and the facts, Assad was fighting ISIS and radical jihad Islam. They were beheading Christians. They were dipping them in acid baths. They were drowning them in mass cages. Russia comes in and helps protect the Christians. Russia helps win the civil war for Syria. And all the shadow president, John McCain, and the deep state and Hillary Clinton, they are anti-Russia and anti-Christianity. That's why they were pro-ISIS in this whole Syria conflict. They want to destroy Syria, break it apart, fragment it, so it could be taken over. Assad is not perfect, and he is not per se a good guy, but he's not a bad guy either. He's no Gaddafi, he's no Saddam Hussein. We need to look into this as deep as possible. Right now, people that read the newspapers and accept mainstream media, they believe that this strike was either a good thing because Russia is the bad guy and Russia is intervening and the Russian troll army and all that nonsense. They don't quite understand what's going on. They've been bamboozled. And then when you tell them about ISIS, it starts to register in their head. They start to remember. But people have been utterly brainwashed in this situation. You have two schools of thought right now, either New World Order globalism or freedom plus ultraism. And these factions are at war with each other. There is a resurgence right now in good and pure and justice and valor and honor and Christianity. I heard Mike Adams say this recently on Alex Jones, that the middle class of good and evil, if there was a middle class, is disappearing. You're either becoming good or evil. You're either choosing good or you're choosing evil. There's no more middle ground anymore. Hillary's faction, the liberals, the fedoras, they've chosen evil and they're happy about it. But you, who is listening to this message, chose good or is choosing good. You've made it this far and you are not powerless. Right now, more than ever, you matter. Your thoughts matter. Your actions matter. How you conduct yourself matters. How you go against the enemy matters. When you protest them in comment sections. When you protest them on half Reddit and full Reddit. When you protest them on Facebook. All this matters. You are standing your ground in this timescape. And you're telling the enemy, no, I won't go along with this. I don't stand for this. Me, my essence, my being, my soul goes against you and everything you stand for. And that matters. on a spiritual level. You always matter to the Creator. He has unknown and unconceivable amounts of love for you. We don't know why. The best I can relate it to is a Creator, that we love our creations. But this is happening with or without you. This plan, this fight between good and evil, this great battle is happening whether you are a part of it or not, because you are a part of it. We're all a part of it. The Creator, the architect, the designer, his plan is going to happen regardless, whether we're a part of it or not. We are lucky enough that he graced us with an opportunity to join his army, to join up with him. But like I said, it's happening regardless. As we go forward, more disinformation is going to be out there. More and more clutter. Places where you get your information from, Reddit or subreddit, is going to be more and more clouded with evil, with garbage, with pollution, with distractions. And you're going to have to look harder and harder for information, for truth. It's getting to a point now where our Creator is activating our clairvoyance, our telekinetic abilities through the memes. You know, you could see a picture and you just get the message right away. You can read it. Or all the different talking heads on the good side, you know, the different shows out there, the InfoWars and other truth shows, are all talking about the same thing. And we're not organized. I've never spoken with the InfoWars team before, ever. But there's times where I'll make an episode, they'll talk about it a week after. Or they come up with a topic that's like speaking to you out there. And then you'll act on it. You'll spread the information. You'll make a video yourself. You'll go out there and make change. But this is the signal, the transmission that we all are receiving. We all are getting our orders supernaturally. And right now that transmission is telling us all that this chemical attack was fake. It was staged by the deep state to try to start World War III. Trump, I don't think, has betrayed us. They might have his family. They might have some compromised stuff happening. His actions showed, and the military showed, that we struck dummy targets at best, or targets that would not hurt Russia, and it did not start World War III as of right now. And it still could. I'm not here to fearmonger. There's nothing to worry about. We serve the architect. We don't need to worry about these petty things. But we need to be aware of them. And we need to be able to cut through the crap and the propaganda to be able to correct our brothers and sisters out there who are being led astray with lies. Everything from the mainstream media is a lie when it is a thought pattern being pushed out there. Not just like a little show you watch on Fox News, you know, a little one-time thing. No, that's not a lie. They might inject lies into that, and you'll get better at finding them. But I mean like the Stormy Daniels, like that meme, and the Russia meme. When the media comes out with their own industrialized memes, then you know it's fake. Now, right now, on both sides and all over the world, mechanisms are moving. Algorithms are being activated. And the Russian fleet is heading into the North Sea with their massive diesel-powered carrier. And this is definitely to position themselves in the event something happens. They have to defend themselves. They threw off the globalists. They regained their Christian roots. They defeated ISIS in Syria. And they've been backstabbed every which way by the UN and America. Until we lock up the deep state, metaphorically speaking and literally speaking, locking up Hillary, locking up the Podestas, sending a message to these worms so they run back to their Rothschild-controlled islands and hide away on them until Trump drops a Moab on them. Nothing is safe. There's elements in our government that still are corrupt. Like Trump is draining the swamp, as we say, but look at that story when the fence hopper jumped the White House fence. Made it past 3 guards that were let off duty. They were not there, but there was 1 guard left. right before the Oval Office. We don't know what that fence jumper was going to do. He definitely was an MK Ultra crazy, and we can assume what he was going to do. But that illustrates the control the deep state has still. 3 out of 4 of those guards were relieved of their duty. I'm not saying they were corrupt. Maybe one of them was, but the other 2 were given false orders to leave or relieve their post. They weren't there. And then that last one was. And that illustrates the deep state control still. Maybe it's 50-50 now. Like if that happened today, maybe 2 guards would be there, or not 3 would leave, because we are making headway against these slime bags in the swamp. David Seaman has come out with his victory speech, popping the champagne. It was a great little video. We all enjoyed it. He's saying the indictments are being unsealed. A couple of them have been unsealed with a couple Canadian Illuminati members, an elite, and it's only a matter of time. That is why the deep state wants to start World War III. That is why they made this false flag chemical attack that makes 0 sense. They used 2 different kinds of chemical gases combined in this attack, first time in history, and it doesn't really make sense. They kind of negate each other, and they create different chemical combinations that either weaken the gas, negate the gas, or it can make the gas more harmful. But in this situation, there was no logical sense why they would use these 2 combinations. And the timing of it. The war was won, they were leaving, they're pulling out. It just doesn't make any sense. Where did they get the chemical weapons from? Look into that right there. I'll show some pictures that some Anons posted, and it gives you a good idea where they came from. Now, I wouldn't get upset quite yet like AJ did last night. He had a little meltdown. It's okay. At the time, we all were worried. Like I said before, we don't know to what extent or if Trump has been compromised, but I think the actions through our military prove that these strikes weren't what we thought they were originally last night. But I wouldn't worry too much. Let's have some faith. There's bigger powers at play here. There's behind the scenes people at work on the side of good as much as the side of bad has been working for the last 50 years. We have some people good now that have come out. We have some literal angels out there, entities that are, that the creator sent and is moving the chess pieces behind the scenes. So, stay focused, keep on target, clean out your rooms, go do some tidying up, do some mental tidying up, cut through the bullcrap while you're out there researching, while you're investigating. Don't get distracted. Don't buy into the shills. Don't buy into the garbage. The mods on Reddit have been compromised for a long time now. We all know it. Every subreddit out there is compromised. From half Reddit to double Reddit to quarter Reddit to infinity Reddit. So, again, use your discernment. Use your gut feeling. Don't buy into the propaganda. And remember, we've read the last chapter. We win in the end. That's why the enemy is trying to scatter us and have as much fun and dirty crap as he could do while he can, while he's free, while the deep state is free. Before the indictments drop, Trump is still draining the swamp. If he wasn't, they would give up their war against him, but they haven't yet. Until he's out of office, the deep state will never quit against him. We should be back up and running with every few days happenings, updates. I took a little vacation. Antarctica's beautiful this time of the year. Plus Ultra says hi. The Grand Fabricator says hi down here. We're in the process of building the anti-AI chip being made. The computer chip for the anti-artificial intelligence. And that's all we could talk about. I gotta go. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe. Please spread this word around. This is a Happenings Network, a Christian-oriented news channel. We are spirit warriors here. We are the monks of the 21st century. The warrior monks.